Hi, I'm Sam Flankite, and welcome to the horror show with a special guest, my beautiful wife.
Hi.
And this week we're reviewing Evil Dead Burn. It's a sequel, kind of like right after sequel of Evil Dead Rise. And the synopsis of this movie is that there's this family and they're grieving the loss of their son. And then crazy stuff happens because there's deadites. Getting into the specifics, Grandpa, who's not around anymore, was someone who knew about deadites and kind of hid that from his family because he didn't want to involve them in it. And so he had a bunch of like journals and papers and whatever about, the evilness of deadites and, that crazy stuff. And he also had a Kandarian dagger.
Special dagger. Let's just call it
His special dagger. I gotta get that name right at some point, but not today. Something happens. He dies, whatever. But he has it hidden and all wrapped up in his house. And fast forward to now, his grandson is kind of going through the research, but more so because he's trying to write a book. And this is probably he's probably like, oh, it's whatever. It's just, it's not real, is it? This is really spooky stuff, but perfect for my horror book or whatever.
Spooky book.
Yeah. And he unveils the dagger, and him doing that alerts any deadites, which if you've watched Evil Dead Rise, you know that there is a deadite Jessica. And she is alerted to the dagger being around. So the whole goal of the movie is the deadites are trying to get this dagger and destroy it because it's one of the only things around that can destroy them or to kill them. Because you can't, you could cut them up, you could burn them, but they'll still come, they'll still,
It's the only dagger that'll actually get rid of the deadite demon.
Yeah. So, that's what's up with that. And, this movie was really interesting. I liked the movie. I suppose... Well, I was gonna say they're kind of making everyone except for the main character to have, or at least the main 2 or 3, well, not the main 2 or 3 characters, but everyone's got a problem except for this 2-3 people kind of thing, and even these 2-3 people kind of have a problem. I thought it was gonna be, at least in the beginning of the movie, I thought the whole dynamic drama, that kind of stuff was gonna be more what's it called? I thought it was gonna be more
Dramatic?
No, kind of unbiased, or not I thought it was gonna be both of the parties have a problem, and it's not one person has a problem and the other person doesn't have a problem kind of thing.
Main character, sheep armor.
I suppose.
Plot armor.
Yeah, it was something like that. There's a word I'm looking for. I just can't think of it though right now. And I thought it was gonna be, a little unbiased and whatnot, but then it's okay, no, that because okay, I guess to give context, in the beginning of the movie, there's this club scene, and it's the grandson's birthday. And his girlfriend and his brother and his brother's wife is there celebrating it with him. And there's a fight between the brother and the brother's wife. And it's I felt in that scene in the very beginning, I thought that okay, that's kind of they both got kind of problems.
Toxic marriage vibes.
Yeah, definitely that, but like both got, you know, issues. But then like as the movie goes on, it's like actually no, it was just him. He was the problem, and she was fine and whatnot. And there's no, you know, she's nothing wrong with her. Or at least they don't address the stuff on her side or whatever. And it's like okay.
No, there is something wrong with her. She's French.
Oh well, I forgot that part. But but that's kind of how the movie itself portrays itself. Kind of like how in a movie like Sinners, which is definitely something I really need to review at some point. It's like the people in the movie have problems, but like that's never addressed, or at least it's never like you don't hear people talk about those problems. They're acting like the problems that the people in those movies have, and that movie has, are like, oh, that's not a problem. That's okay stuff. That's an okay way to live life. And for example, that's a good way to, like, oh, you're free for a night, and that's what you're doing. So it's kind of, and this is kind of like that in a sense. And I mean that's fine, you know, storyline wise. It's just, I guess, a little bit tiresome. But anyway, the kills in the movie were pretty brutal, and I think everything about this movie is like probably like 5-6 times more intense, graphic, kind of, than it was in Rise.
French director
who is known for some pretty well he's French, and a lot of there's like a genre of movies that's like French, not like exploitation, but like French. It's just really graphic, gory French movies, and he's,
or like as your dad said, French extremity.
That's what it was. So, you know, it's like obviously that's what's gonna be, you know, coming here. I suppose I still I still think that like Evil Dead 1, and then I think the remake is probably more, alright, maybe not intense, but like more like, oh boy, than this was. But I like, if you're someone that has never seen any other Evil Dead movie, then like you'll think it's like whoa, and then you might think it's like more than say Evil Dead or the remake or whatever if you see Burn first. But I still think it was like, out of all the movies that are going to come out this year that I could think of at the moment, it's going to be one of the more tense movies of the year. There's still some other ones that have to come out to see first. Like, we'll have to see how Zach Cregger does with the Resident Evil movie, and then we'll have to see Werewolf at the end, because you already know, like, they're going to be good, but how tense are those going to be? At least more especially the Robert Eggers movie, because he does a pretty good job at that stuff. But it was still a really good movie. It is funny how when I went to go watch Obsession, that it was the first time I ever saw a sex jump scare, and there was something similar to that in this, but it wasn't sex. It was more of just a booty jump scare.
A peach jump scare. A burnt peach.
But so that was kind of funny when that happened. Although, to be fair, I already knew that going into it. There was like a handful of stuff, not even, that I knew going into the movie, but there was still a lot that I didn't know going into it, and that was good. A lot of people say that like the last 20 minutes of the movie probably didn't really need to be in there, and I'm not like super like, oh, it didn't need to be in there, but I mean, I totally get it and see it, and maybe in the moment I would have preferred that because I really needed to use the bathroom, and I was considering going to go use the bathroom during that, because I'm like, oh well, I mean, I know how it's gonna end. She's gonna, you know, she's gonna win or whatever, right? Oh, good guy's gonna win, kind of thing. But because that's just how like a lot of movies are nowadays, to be honest. Which, you know, it's fine and good, but that's just like, you know, as Christians, we believe, you know, good overcomes evil, or at least at the end of the day, it will. But sometimes, unfortunately, at least for the moment, evil overcomes good, and you see that a lot in life. And you have to have, you know, that faith that someday it'll be different, in which it will be. But, you know, finish your race. So, I guess that's like one thing about movies now. It's like, there's never that like fear that like, actually, what if our hero dies at the end? It's like you could have that fear, but when you see more and more movies come out, literally, you could fall on a bunch of knives on a dishwasher, and it's like, okay, yeah, you're stuck there now. And then like the next time you see that character actually got out somehow by himself, and is you know, perfectly fine to bash some skull in like 20 times.
Yeah.
So like, okay, when something like that happens, you already know that like, oh well, I know how the movie's gonna end now. Which, I mean, as I said, it's like it's fine. It's just, it kind of sucks watching a movie you already know how it's gonna end, right? So that's why like a movie like, say, Glass is really interesting. I know you haven't seen it, not yet anyway. Or I don't know, I can't think of other movies in the moment, but like a movie like, my ultimate point being, it's a good ending, it's a fine ending, it's just a kind of cliche-ish ending.
Yeah, predictable.
Yeah,
I like it when the ending is unpredictable. Like for me personally, movies like Bring Her Back and Weapons, those endings I did not see coming. I did not see that coming. So.
Yeah, didn't we see both of those movies together in the theater?
Yeah, we did.
I know, I definitely remember Bring Her Back. I don't remember if we watched Weapons together, but actually no, I remember now.
We did.
But yeah. But then there's like the opposite, where like you watch the 2011 The Thing, and to a degree you already know how it's gonna end because you already know what place this is and like whatnot. Because if you ever saw the 82 movie, then you would know that, oh, this Norwegian camp, that this is a lot of bad stuff's gonna happen here in this movie. You just don't know how it's gonna happen, but it's gonna happen. Yeah, the music was pretty good. And the kills, I think I already said this, the kills were pretty good too.
Yeah.
I think that's about all I want to say. Is there anything else you want to talk about? Oh, well, actually, there's one more thing. So there's two after the movie credits. There's a mid-credits scene, which is more of like a kind of funny thing. And then there's a post-credit that's like a, whoa, that's crazy. But I would also say that if you watch Rise and look very carefully in, like, not the background, I guess technically, like, right in front of you, you should know then that, like, they're probably going to come back.
Yeah, if you don't get rid of them properly, they're going to come back.
And that's what that post-credit scene was. And then I was like so crazed out when it said the Deadites were going to return in Avengers Doomsday.
Jeepers.
That would have been hilarious.
Yeah. But it's refreshing though to see a movie that isn't a Marvel movie do like a end credit scene, not to mention a mid-credit scene.
Now, you got all these Deadites running around, and where's Ash?
Yeah. Come on, Bruce Campbell. Come back. Petition to get Sam Raimi to bring back Bruce Campbell.
I suppose the only actual problem I have with it, but it's more just like I'm waiting for it to come back, is just like there's a lot of final girl movies out there where like the girl's the last one left, and like I mean that's been around since the 80s, whether it was like a girl who was like more of like oh no save me, or a girl who's like no I'm gonna kill you killed everyone. But like I really like watching one where it's like a final guy, because that's more rare. And like Evil Dead was one of those old movies that it was a final guy. And so it's just bringing that kind of thing back, because you don't really see that often.
Yeah.
But I mean, you know, there's only so much you can do.
Women, am I right? Always trying to live for the sake of humanity.
Bruh.
Sigh.
But was there anything else that you would want to talk about? Because I think that is everything I wanted to.
I think you said everything.
Well, I'm Sam, Flying Kite. This is Lily, or Purple Honey.
Check out my channel. I have a video coming out soon.
What is your video about?
You'll see. It's a Minecraft roleplay.
Ooh. And this was an Evil Dead Burn review. I definitely think it's if it was like on the better half or the worst half of the Evil Dead movies, not that there's a bad Evil Dead movie, just there's got to be the best, right?
Yeah, there's got to be a scale of some sort.
I think it's probably on the better half of it, although it's so tough. Because, I mean, like, one person's worst could be another person's best. Like, some people would be like, Army of Darkness is the worst one, and I would be like, no, that's the best one.
It's obviously the best.
Yeah. But, It's difficult. It could be on someone's bottom just because the other ones are just still so much better, or it could be someone's best if they just really liked how they went with it. But yeah, definitely worth the watch. If you're able to afford it, I would say you should go watch it in the theater. But if you're not, then you should just wait till it's probably physical, and then buy it for like $10-20. Physically.
Yeah.
But anyway, I will see y'all next week. Goodbye.